22-year-old Vidhi Megha, hailing from Gujarat, Borsad town, was full of dreams as she headed to Canada for higher studies 4 years ago. However, her life was tragically cut short after being stabbed to death in Canada's Niagara region near the US border. Her family's trauma compounded further as it was informed about this 12 days after the incident, and they're yet to receive her body. Vidhi had completed a degree in business management. She was currently pursuing a healthcare-related course. The incident took place on the 15th of May at around 4:15 p.m. local time. The police received information about her body being found at a residence in St. Catharines, which is a city in Niagara. 3 days later, a 40-year-old man named Joshua Omar was arrested in connection with her murder. As of now, the police are viewing it as an unplanned killing, which carries a minimum sentence of life imprisonment in Canada. Her father, Kalpesh Bhai Megha, reportedly revealed that a drug dealer attacked Vidhi with a knife after she refused to give him money. Expressing his anguish, he appealed to the government to ensure that her body is returned to India at the earliest so that her final rites can be performed.
My request to the government is that I wanted to provide my daughter's final rites here in India. Therefore, provide me with her body as soon as possible and send it here.
Meanwhile, local MLA and Gujarat Minister Ramanbhai Solanki visited the bereaved family. Speaking with the media later, Solanki revealed that he had spoken with the Chief Minister's office as well as the Prime Minister's office to expedite the repatriation of the 22-year-old student's body. The Indian Consulate in Toronto also said that it was deeply saddened. It added that it was in touch with her family members in India and Canada and is providing all possible assistance for transporting her mortal remains to Gujarat.
I have spoken with both the CMO and the PMO regarding this matter to ensure that her body is returned to her family members without any further delay. In this endeavor, I stand firmly with her family.
Remember, Canada recorded the highest number of deaths due to violent attacks among Indian students abroad between 2018 and 25. In this time period, 17 students died in Canada, followed by 9 in United States, 3 in Australia and 2 in Kyrgyzstan. Well, the White House has a new message on aliens, but not the kind of people usually you imagine or seen in Star Wars movies. They're not coming from outer space. They're already here, and according to the Trump administration, ICE is tracking them. The White House this week launched aliens.gov, a space-themed immigration enforcement website that uses UFO-style language and science fiction imagery to spotlight illegal immigration across the United States. The site presents itself as an alien transparency project, but behind the satirical tone is a very serious political message. The platform features a live map of the country tracking what it calls alien arrests. It allows users to search immigration detentions by city, state, alleged crime, country of origin, and even suspected gang affiliations. The launch comes as the Trump administration continues to escalate its immigration crackdown by expanding detention operations, increasing ICE enforcement actions, and pushing a hardline public campaign on border security. But as the administration celebrates its enforcement push, growing questions are now emerging about the conditions inside immigration detention facilities. All this unfolds just a day after protesters gathered outside the Delaney Hall Detention Center in New York. They raised fists and chanted against ICE crackdowns as well as the treatment of migrants in custody. The protests come amid a deeply troubling investigation by the Associated Press as well. The investigation by AP found that at least 10 immigration detainees have died by suicide since President Donald Trump returned to office in January last year. According to AP's review of ICE records, autopsy reports, police documents, this is the highest suicide rate ever recorded in ICE custody for a single fiscal year. And the numbers are stark. Since October, 7 suicide deaths have already been recorded, even though ICE historically reported just 1 or no suicides in most years. The 10 suicides account for nearly 1/5 of all 51 deaths in ICE custody since January 2025. Detainees often face extreme stress after arrest, fear of being returned to dangerous conditions in their home countries, and deep isolation caused by language barriers and limited contact with family members. Now, the spike in suicides is intensifying scrutiny of the Trump administration's aggressive immigration crackdown and the rapid expansion of detention operations across the country. The latest deaths follow a record-breaking and deadly year. In 2025, at least 50 migrants died in ICE detention, the highest number in more than 2 decades and the deadliest year since the agency was created. According to data from ICE, reports that single year alone saw more deaths than the entire 4 years of the Biden administration, during which 26 people died in ICE custody. An American journalist stands accused of secretly working for China's intelligence network for years while allegedly trying to obtain classified U.S. government information. Thomas Y. Pokin II, the son of a former Texan politician, was arrested earlier this year. According to reports, Pokin allegedly operated under the direction of individuals linked to China's Ministry of State Security. U.S. federal investigators claim that Pokin worked with a handler identified as Kathy and helped identify potential American sources, supplied them with laptops and cell phones, and passed reports back to the Chinese operatives. The FBI reportedly said that Pokin admitted that he worked with individuals connected with the Chinese government as part of a conspiracy to obtain classified U.S. information. The investigation reportedly began in December of 2025 after U.S. customs officials stopped Pokin at a Washington airport and discovered 2 cell phones, a laptop, and $3,000 in cash in his luggage. As per reports, one of the individuals Pokin planned to meet was seeking a job in the Trump administration. Investigators reportedly claimed that Pokin believed that if this individual entered the government, there was a significant chance that that person could provide classified information to China. Authorities say that Pokin moved to China in 2010, worked for the Chinese state-run television and radio outlets, and later became an editor at a Chinese state news agency. U.S. investigators also allege that he met a former speechwriter linked to Chinese President Xi Jinping around 2017. Reports claim that Pokin made multiple all-expenses-paid trips to the United States between 2019 and 25, and he received nearly $100,000 US for reports allegedly shared with Xi Jinping. Now, the FBI alleges that agents later monitored a Washington hotel meeting where Pokin offered a source $100,000 in cash, a SIM card for covert communication, and instructions to deliver weekly reports meant to influence Chinese policy decisions.